This presentation is about requisitions and disbursement requests. All information is based on our current understanding and is subject to change. My name is Janet Warren. I'm the Distribution Coordinator for the Instructional Materials Division at TEA.
And I am Latrice Burleson, the Distribution Specialist at TEA. On this presentation, we will be covering EMAT access, instructional materials allotment, new material for the 2017-2018 school year, ordering state-adopted materials in EMAT requisitions, requesting IMA funds and EMAT disbursements, disbursement request tips, salary disbursement requests, important dates, future proclamations, frequently asked questions and answers. EMAT access. On the TEA website, which is tea.texas.gov, is where all new users will go to obtain a TEAS account to gain access to the EMAT system. After you open the TEA website, you will click on the TEA Secure Applications information link on the blue banner at the top of the page. On the TEA Secure Application list, there will be multiple applications that are in alphabetical order. You will be looking for EMAT EVI. Once you find it, you will click on Request Access Online. On the next page, you will click Request New Account on the first sentence unless you already have a TEAS account. If you already have a TEAS account, you will click Add Modify Application to gain access to EMAT. The next page you come to will be a purple and white page where you will choose EMAT EVI order materials from the drop-down menu. After you click Continue, you will begin filling out your online application. Please be sure to provide accurate and all required information on your application, such as your correct organization number or county district number. When selecting a role, you will either choose EMAT EVI order materials or district staff view only access. Each district can have up to 2 people in each of those roles. The district staff view only role will only allow you to view reports. The EMAT EVI order materials role will allow you to view reports and also submit requests. Your superintendent will receive a notice to approve your request via email. All new instructional materials coordinators will also receive an email that will require you to complete training on the TEA website. Once you have completed the training listed under EMAT guidance, you will let your administrator know that you have completed the training so that they can email TEA confirming that you have done so. There will not be a certificate at the end of the training. After we receive the confirmation email from your administrator, we will send an email to you that will have your logon information.
Instructional materials allotment. Ordering for the 2017-2018 school year begins when EMAT opens in the spring. When EMAT opens, local education agencies can spend any prior year's balance or carryover funds. The 2018-2019 biennium allotment amounts will be announced shortly after the conclusion of the 2017 legislative session. Session ends in May, but there's always the possibility of a special session that would conclude in June. Districts and charters are able to spend up to 80% of their new IMA prior to September 1st, 2017. The full amounts will be available after September 1st, 2017 when revenue becomes available. New material for the 2017-2018 school year. Proclamation 2017 included languages other than English, career and technical education, special topics in social studies, algebraic reasoning, and statistics. There were 1,208 statements of intent to bid submitted by publishers. This is a publisher's way to show interest in participating in the review and adoption process. A form must be submitted for each course or subject area and grade level the publisher intends to submit materials for. 558 products were reviewed by the State Review Panel for Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills, or TEKS, and English Language Proficiency Standards, ELPS, coverage. To be eligible for adoption, a product must meet at least 50% of the TEKS and 100% of the ELPS if applicable. There were 500 products eligible for adoption. 492 products were adopted by the State Board of Education in November. There were 4,615 product bids that have been submitted by publishers for the 492 adopted products. A bid must be submitted for each package option the publisher intends to have available in EMAT. Additional information about Proclamation 2017 can be found on the TEA website.
Ordering state adopted materials and EMAT requisitions. With the delayed payment option, districts will be able to requisition and receive state-adopted instructional materials before funds are available on September 1st. The delayed payment option is an agreement between TEA and a publisher and is only available through the requisition process. Payments to the publishers for delayed payment orders are made before TEA approves any disbursement requests. Be sure to complete the prerequisites before ordering, including submitting the IMA and TEKS certification form, entering shipping dates, which can include 3 different date ranges, and confirming contacts and addresses. Requisitions are submitted only for state-adopted materials. When you submit a requisition, the funds will be deducted from your allotment account. We will review the requisition. If we approve the requisition, the order will be sent to the publisher to fulfill the order, and TEA will pay the publisher. There are 3 types of requisitions district and charter schools use to order state-adopted materials. The new adoptions requisition includes all newly adopted products from Proclamation 2017. The continuing adoptions requisition includes adopted materials from previous proclamations that are available to order. The component requisition includes all newly adopted individual items for Proclamation 2017. After completing all prerequisites, the link to the Create New Adoption requisition will be available. There will only be one requisition link available for each requisition type until your requisition is complete. That means that you have submitted your requisition to TEA and TEA has approved the submitted requisition. After clicking on the Create New Requisitions link, you will only have the grade level tabs that offer the Proclamation 2017 materials. After you have chosen a grade level, you will find a multi-list code you are needing to order from. Once you find the multi-list code, you will click on the magnifying glass next to the empty ISBN field to see what state-adopted materials are available for that subject. When you click the magnifying glass, the Lookup ISBN window will display the long description field, where all available titles will be. Please be careful when choosing a title because the titles are similar. After you have made a selection, you will see the title that you have selected. If you would like to see the details of a package, you can click on the detail links here. Then you will enter the amount of student editions needed. Always save your work here to avoid any lost progress. On the item details page, you will find the title, any comments that will help you see what's included in the package, and the TEKS percentage the item covers. When creating a requisition for a teacher system, the item details icon will be available to see what is included in a teacher system. You will enter the number of systems or packages in the teacher requisition quantity field. Please be aware that teacher systems are ordered per teacher and serves a specific amount of students. For example, you may enter 1 in the teacher requisition quantity field, but within the one teacher system, it may serve 18 students. The student population served field is where you will enter the amount of students that the systems will serve. And always remember to save your work. After you have made your selections, you will click on the Requisition Summary tab and submit to TEA. It would be good to also click on the View Print Requisition Summary link to see everything you have selected. If you see that the requisition status is in progress, that means you can still alter the requisition. One thing to remember when ordering is that there may be a title filled in where you want to make a different selection for the same multi-list code. You will not be able to delete that title, but you will be able to add another multi-list code to select a new title by clicking on the plus symbol. As long as the quantity is left blank for the old title, nothing will be ordered for that title.
Requesting IMA funds in EMAT, disbursements. You can begin submitting disbursement requests for the 2017-2018 school year when EMAT reopens in the spring. Your district and charter will be able to use any prior year carryover funds, and those disbursement requests will be approved and paid 7 to 10 business days later. Disbursement requests using new biennium funding will be processed as pre-approved. Districts and charters may use local funds to pay for instructional materials and get reimbursed when state funding becomes available. Districts and charters are discouraged from spending local funds with the expectation of a reimbursement unless a corresponding disbursement request has been pre-approved. The instructional materials staff will review the disbursement requests in the order in which they were received, and final approval and payments to the district come after September 1 after all delayed payment invoices are paid. You will see the status change from pre-approved to approved, and then the disbursement request will pay 7 to 10 business days later. Some districts and charters make individual agreements with publishers to postpone payments. In other words, to pay the publisher for the instructional materials after the pre-approved disbursements are paid. These agreements are between the local education agency and the publisher and are not regulated by TEA. Disbursement requests may be submitted in 3 disbursement categories: instructional materials, for non-state adopted titles, or items not available for ordering in EMAT, such as special bundles offered by the publisher, technological equipment, and technology services. The disbursement request process begins with an LEA submitting a disbursement request in EMAT. The funds are then deducted from the district's IMA. TEA reviews the request and contacts the LEA for additional information if needed. If the request is approved, TEA sends the funds to the LEA. The LEA orders directly from the vendor and pays the vendor directly. Click Allotment Disbursement on the Start page to create a new disbursement request. Click the Next link. If you see the next link is not an active link, then please go back to your Start page and check that all of the prerequisites have been completed. Select an allotment disbursement type, then click OK. Click the magnifying glass and choose the disbursement category. Once you've selected a disbursement category, a new row will display. If there's a drop-down menu or a magnifying glass, you must choose from the options provided. All other fields can be typed in directly. Use full titles instead of abbreviations, and carefully check the disbursement request before submitting. In an instructional materials disbursement request, there is a field that says State Adopted Yes, No. Please type yes or no or Y or N into this field. Only materials adopted by the State Board of Education are considered state adopted. Some examples of things that are not considered state adopted would be materials not found in EMAT, AP materials for math, science, and social studies, kindergarten handwriting and spelling materials, certain fine arts and social studies products, and certain online resources such as Reading A to Z and the TEACS resource system. iStation is offered by the state, but it is not considered state adopted. This product was not reviewed by a state review panel, therefore it would be no in the state adopted field. To research an item to find out if it is available in EMAT, click on the Reports link. You can use the Item Search feature or the Textbook Product Components by MLC report. In a technological equipment disbursement request, there is a category for equipment support. Some items that would be in the equipment support category would be document cameras, tablet cases, charging carts, printers, wireless access points, or specialty bulbs for document cameras and projectors. Contracts not used for instruction should be on a technology services disbursement request with contracted services as the category. Some examples would be internet filtering, single sign-on services, and internet service. If you are using this for internet service, please add the dates of service into the disbursement request. Contracts for instructional purposes should be in an instructional materials disbursement request with supplemental materials as the category. Unless it is for bilingual materials, then you will choose bilingual materials as the category. Some examples would be site licenses for instructional materials such as BrainPop, Study Island, the TEACS resource system.
Disbursement request tips. When you have multiple ISBNs or items to enter into your disbursement, you will need to add a row by clicking on the plus symbol at the end of the row. If you need to delete a row because you no longer need it, click on the minus symbol at the end of the row. If you have any blank rows, you will need to delete that row because you will not be able to submit to TEA if this is not done. In order to create a new category, you will need to click on the plus sign to the right of the category you have already selected. If you need to delete any categories, you will need to click on the minus sign. If you have any blank categories that you do not need, be sure to delete them before submitting to TEA.
For the instructional materials disbursement request, there are two categories for freight: in-state freight charges and out-of-state freight charges. Shipping costs and freight charges must be in a separate category from the instructional materials in the disbursement request. TEA will pay the freight charges for instructional materials shipped within the state. Districts must submit these freight charges in a disbursement request using the in-state freight charges disbursement category. In-state freight charges do not come out of your district's IMA. Therefore, they will not appear on your allotment report. These funds come out of a separate freight account. Multiple in-state freight charges will be totaled together on the View Payment Information link. For example, if you requested funds for $50 in in-state freight on one disbursement request, and then the following day submitted another disbursement request for in-state freight for $100, then when that payment comes, it will show $150 on the View Payment Information link. You will only sent the $150 one time, but it will show on both disbursement request View Payment Information because it is associated with both disbursement requests. A district may enter a disbursement request for out-of-state freight charges. These charges will be deducted from your district's IMA account. For a technology services disbursement request, the disbursement category will be shipping costs. For a technological equipment disbursement request, the disbursement category will also be shipping costs. You may not use the in-state freight charges category for technological equipment or technology services. That category is designated only for in-state freight for instructional materials.
Once you have entered the information for your disbursement request, you can click on the View Print Summary link. This document can be printed and sent to your finance, curriculum, and technology departments so they are fully informed. The View Payment Information link will only appear once a payment has been made to your district for your disbursement request. This document can also be sent to your finance department. If we have questions about a request or if changes need to be made, we will contact you by phone or email. Click the In Progress Transaction ID to make the requested changes. When entering information in your disbursement request, it is important to frequently save your work. If you have any questions about which disbursement category an item belongs in, call the Instructional Materials Division or email us at instructional.materials@tea.texas.gov. A disbursement request in submitted or pre-approved status can be reopened for changes by the TEA staff. Contact the Instructional Materials Division to reopen a request. Districts are only able to cancel a request if it has the status submitted or in progress. Disbursement requests will be processed within 15 days of receipt unless there is a need for additional information or clarification.
Salary disbursement request. The IMA may be used to pay the salary or other expenses of an employee who provides technical support for the use of technological equipment directly involved in student learning. The salary disbursement request should be submitted 3 times per year. At the end of November for September, October, and November, at the end of February for December, January, and February, and at the end of May or the end of the contract date for the remaining months. The salary disbursement request is always a reimbursement to the district's payroll account. Please include the dates of service in the disbursement request. Some examples of allowable salary disbursement requests would be an employee who provides technical support for a learning management system used to access instructional materials, an employee who provides support through planning and professional development for teachers and staff to integrate technology into classroom instruction, a computer lab technician who directly assists students, or an employee who performs maintenance and provides technical support for technological equipment used in labs and classrooms. Some examples of non-allowable salary disbursement requests would be a classroom teacher's salary, a stipend for a teacher or a staff member, a testing coordinator's salary, or an instructional materials coordinator's salary.
Important dates. Around February or March of 2017, the IMA and TEAC certification form becomes available. On April 3rd of 2017, EMAT closes for the 2016-2017 school year. Although EMAT is closed for ordering, districts and charter schools can still log in to run reports and print the IMA and TEAC certification form. On May 1st of 2017, EMAT opens for the 2017-2018 school year. Around June or July of 2017, the IMA amounts are announced. On September 1st of 2017, the IMA funds become available. Future proclamations. Proclamation 2018 includes special topics in social studies, which was issued in November of 2016. Proclamation 2019 includes grades K through 8 English and Spanish language arts and reading and personal financial literacy, which may be issued in spring of 2017. Proclamation 2020 includes high school English language arts and reading and pre-kindergarten systems, which may be issued in spring of 2018. To review the adoption cycle, you can click on the link below.
Frequently asked questions and answers. Can we use the IMA to pay for printer paper to print district-developed books and materials for the classroom? Printer paper and printer ink are considered office supplies. The IMA may not be used to purchase office or school supplies. How do I know what the ratio of student materials to teacher materials is for any given product? We try to include the ratios on the item details for each program, but if you are unable to find it, please feel free to contact us. Beginning with Proclamation 2017, you'll be able to requisition individual components so that you can purchase teacher's editions in EMAT if you do not qualify for a free teacher's edition. Our district requested and received a disbursement but ended up not ordering that specific material. What do we do with those funds? This is considered an overage. Inform the Instructional Materials Division about the overage and keep the funds in your 410 account until you need to use them for an allowed purchase. If the overage funds are greater than the amount needed for your next disbursement request, email the Instructional Materials Division to receive approval through email instead of EMAT. In your email, please provide the amount of the overage and the reason for the overage, what you want to purchase using your overage funds, and the information that would normally be included in a disbursement request for those new materials, such as the title, the product description, the quantity, and the unit price. If the overage funds are less than the amount needed, submit a disbursement request for the difference. In the new disbursement request, put the following information in the description field for the line accounting for the overage. Put the word overage, the transaction ID of the disbursement request that created the overage, the amount of overage, and the actual quantity and unit price for that line. Enter quantity of 1 in the quantity field and the shortage amount in the unit price field. If you need assistance entering a disbursement request using overage funds, feel free to contact the Instructional Materials Division and we can help you. How do I get a disbursement request pre-approved? You'll submit your disbursement request as usual, and the TEA staff will determine whether to approve or pre-approve the disbursement request based on any prior biennial carryover fund. Can a disbursement request be submitted for packages available in EMAT? If you find it is a benefit to your district, then you can submit a disbursement request for packages available in EMAT. Will we get all of our IMA funding up front again in the next biennium? House Bill 1474 was passed by the 84th Texas Legislature, changed the IMA from an annual allocation to a biennial allocation. Unless the law changes again in the upcoming session, TEA will make the full amount available to LEAs on September 1st, 2017. If you have additional questions or need further assistance, please contact the Instructional Materials Division at instructional.materials@tea.texas.gov or call us at 512-463-9601. 463-9601.